Hi, friends. Welcome to Soaring Through Chaos, another episode. And the reason we do this is to find ourselves and a sense of meaning during the pandemic. Yes, it has changed a lot of lives, including our own, in many different ways, whether it's concerned about health or happiness, or it's finding means of livelihood, finding ways to sustain our career. Many people who are just graduating cannot even find a place to work, or many people who are in school and college are worried about that. Meanwhile, it has created a lot of upset and anger and anxiety and all kinds of negative emotions. People finger pointing and saying government is bad and somebody is bad, but it's time to look within, because amid all this, there's a possibility that we can find meaning. And when we do, when we can find meaning in these extraordinary circumstances, it'll be easy for us to find meaning when things get so called normal. So there were some people I met at the beginning of the pandemic, that was in March and April and May and June, who helped me find meaning in a different land, which is when I was in Mexico, in a place called Cuernavaca in the state of Morelos, about an hour away from Ciudad de Mexico. And it was amazing because I did not even know Espanol, and I was just starting to learn the language, Spanish of Mexico, which is in North America. And it was really nice to have a family away from my family because I didn't know how long I was going to be there. So Rodrigo Bribiesca was one of the people I met, and he was amazing. We used to hang out together. We would sing together. We would even dance together. And Rodrigo, tell us about your life and what was it like? It was amazing for me when we met, and I want to know all about you, and I want everybody to know a little bit about you.
Okay, well, as you said, I am Rodrigo, and well, where do I start? I've had a really interesting life because I am the youngest brother from three brothers. So basically, since I was little, I used to learn a lot from my brothers, and it was well, it's really interesting because until now, until the pandemic, because of COVID-19, I've had a lot of time to focus on myself, and I realized a lot of things. Actually, it was the opposite for me on this quarantine because I found myself by being alone. Well, a lot of people it's in trouble. They are under stress, but for me it was completely opposite. I am really happy. Well, I'm not happy of what happened, of course, but I'm happy that I got to know myself. I grew up here in Mexico, in Cuernavaca, and I have lived for about 10 or 11 years in this house, and well, we have a tennis court, so I used to play a lot when I was little. So I was really into sports. I used to learn a lot from my brothers. Basically, I used to listen to the music that they listen to, or watch the movies, or Friends. I don't know. We had pretty similar lives. So it was until now that I started focusing on who I am. And yeah, I'm really happy right now to be the person that I am, and I'm happy to talk to you for the time that we will be talking.
So that's really nice. You said something very interesting. You and your brothers had very similar lives until you started looking at yourself. And how did you start looking at yourself? In what ways did you start looking at yourself? And how did it change your life?
Well, it's funny because I have always followed my brothers, but I have always had this little feeling that I am really sensitive, or that I am really, I don't know how to explain it, but there was something on me that I saw it was different from my brothers. And at the beginning, I used to be worried about that. I used to be concerned about it because I used to think like, oh my God, why am I so different from my brothers? Am I gonna have the same friends? Are they gonna like me? But eventually I learned that this feeling of who am I, why am I different, it wasn't bad at all. And I started thinking, because I am a person that can feel a lot. I have a lot of feelings, strong feelings, and I admire a lot of people, and I am passionate about a lot of things, sports, philosophy. And it was until now that it changed my life when I realized I had this gift to feel the world. And I was really happy to start feeling everything, to just connect with my surrounding, with the people, and allowing myself to connect instead of wondering why am I acting this way, or why am I behaving like this right now. I started just focusing on feeling the world, feeling myself, and being happy with who I am.
So, Rodrigo, in what ways has the pandemic changed your life? Because now there is no escape; everybody's together, and I guess you're still studying, right? You're still in college. So, has it
Oh
affected
yeah.
your work life? Has it affected your personal life? And if so, in what ways has it changed your life?
Well, actually, it hasn't affected my life. It has improved my life because, okay, so I was working on trying to be the president of marketing in my school. Remember, I used to tell you when we were together. And but then everything came, and I had a lot of time for myself. So I finally had time to start questioning myself, who am I? And then I started just looking at myself and analyzing myself, and I realized over time and over a lot of meditating that I wasn't the person I thought I was. I realized that we had thoughts and that I have a body, but I wasn't that at all. That's part of me. But and sometimes, a lot of times, we have thoughts that can ruin who we are, and that can make us feel depressed or under stress. And then I started realizing that there's something else, something deeper inside of me that 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 really defines who I am, instead of my thoughts and what people say about me. So when I started uh, looking at everything that makes me, I started understanding better the world. I kind of, I don't know, I'm gonna try to explain it, but I kind of separate myself from myself, and instead of thinking that I am the circumstances of my day by day, I started being like, okay, Rodrigo is feeling like this because this happened to him. He's angry because this happened to him. Instead of being me, the one who's getting angry, I'm just looking at Rodrigo getting angry. And then I understood that I can do that with other people. That when someone is angry and when someone's angry, maybe, I don't know, your brother or a friend, and he starts yelling at you, instead of getting angry at him, and now I can just separate myself from him and being like, okay, maybe he had a bad day, maybe he's not feeling okay, and he's just under stress, but he's not actually trying to insult me. And so now nothing can, well, yeah, of course things can hurt me, but I do not get offended by others people reactions, because I know that's not who they are. I know that's just reactions that they are having because of some circumstances. So this helped me to understand that we are just living on a project that we were uh, like Rodrigo was thrown to Rodrigo's body, and now he can play in the world. And so now that I am in college, I can, instead of getting stressed, I can enjoy my classes and being like, oh, this is interesting, or I can learn a lot from this. And if all of a sudden there is a thought of this class is boring, I just try to ignore it, or not ignore it, but be, for example, okay, there is a thought that this class is boring, but I'm just gonna let it pass, and then continue focusing on this class. And and that's what meditation is for me. I can just sit down and see myself, analyze what's going inside my head, you know? And that's something
Wow. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I have a question. I remember you were getting ready to be the president of marketing at your college. So did you do
yeah.
that, or what happened to that campaign?
Yeah. I won. Yeah, I am the
Wow.
president of marketing.
And
Thank you.
you said the process of applying to, or campaigning for the president changed you. In what ways did the process of applying, or standing for the election and getting the support? In what ways did it change you?
Well, before that, I wasn't really interested in college. I was just going to my classes and just trying to pass my classes and learning, but it wasn't very important. And then when I started this, I realized that why are we here in life? Why are we here in college? I mean, I'm not just gonna waste my 4 years of college thinking, okay, this is boring, I'm just gonna pass this class. But now I'm interested. I want to do something different. I want to pay more attention. I want to learn. I want to be more than just a student sitting down thinking that the class is boring. Now you can, with this attitude, you can focus on trying to do things more interesting, more passionately, you know?
So you've been into meditation. You also stood and won the elections and all that. And I remember you telling me about your trip to the United States and other places.
Oh yeah.
And you were there for more than a month, maybe much more
Yeah.
than
I
that.
was
And what was that trip like, and how did it form you? Do you remember we talked about that at length?
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. I remember for the first time traveling by myself and learning a lot of things, you know? Well, when you are an 18 years old guy and traveling by himself for the first time, you get really excited, even by just learning how to put some gas in your car without help, you know? And you like doing things of driving in another country by yourself, going to college, making new friends, uh, meeting new people, really interesting people, learning from another religion. Well, it was Christianism. It was really interesting because I met a guy whose name is Robert, and he taught me a lot about the Bible and how can you interpret the Bible from a psychological point of view and understand life from different points of view. Basically, on my trip to Dallas, to Texas, I learned how to see life from other points of view. You know, it was really interesting, and you get, and I used to have a lot of time for myself also. So you basically do everything by yourself, and your best friend is yourself.
Yeah, and first, what was the trip about? Were you studying something? And would you go back to America, to the United States after your first trip?
Well, my trip was about just getting to know the world a little bit more, and I would love to go back there, but I would also love to get to know other places. I don't know, Europe, maybe France or Italy, and because that's what it's all about, you know. Just the more you get to know, the happier you get. It's like every time you get to know a new part of this world, it's like getting to know a new part of yourself.
Very interesting, very interesting. I mean, that's deep philosophy. The more we get to know the world, the more we get to know ourselves. It's like a mirror, right?
Yeah.
So what's outside and what's inside, you start correlating. Can you
Yeah.
elaborate on that? Tell me how that happens to you when you meet new people. What happens?
Well,
Like we met, and I was a stranger to you guys from India, so or from
well,
America.
I believe that we are not just what we think we are. I believe that we are so big. I believe that we are all one big person, and and we have barriers, you know, we judge things, and this doesn't allow us to get to know the world better. But the more you get to know the more you get to know new places, or you allow yourself to have new experiences, it's like if you break some barriers, and then you just find yourself in a new situation, and then you find yourself more, how could I say it, surrounded of new experiences. This makes you be more complete, more of who you are, you know.
Yeah, and I still remember how much I cherished my trip to Mexico because you all taught me together, you all taught me to speak in Espanol. Before that, I was using the Duolingo, but that was so limiting. To be able to just chat and understand the difference between como está and como estás, and small little things like that, muy bien and todo bien and all kinds of things like that. You all became my familia in Mexico. So that was wonderful. And you all ate Indian food with me, and I also had understood and saw the different kinds of Mexican cuisine, so many different dishes. So what next? Now that you've been through, different experiences, you're now the president of marketing at your college, and you're still studying from home. Where do you see yourself going? Where do you see what's next on your radar screen?
Well, firstly, I would like to say that having more responsibility can take you to being more distracted and stop focusing on yourself and start believing that you are the circumstances of your day by day again. And I would like to try to still concentrate on who am I, and instead of focusing on what I'm doing. So I would like to be myself in every situation that I get to know, because you get to know situations, because you find yourself in new experiences. And then if I continue focusing on myself and connecting with the world, then everything you do, you're gonna be happy, I wouldn't be able to be the president right now if I hadn't been on this philosophy. Now that I allow myself to just be myself, like experiences come, and then you welcome experiences and you're happy with them. So if I continue like this, I really don't know where am I going, but I hope it's a good path,
Very interesting. In fact, most people, when you're in college and all that, the most important thing everybody's looking for is, oh, I'm incomplete. I have to find a girlfriend. I have to find a boyfriend. So don't you go through those things anymore? Or have you been through that before?
Well, I have been through that before, of course. Maybe sometimes I'm still doing it, but now that I found the opportunity of connecting with myself in every situation, I just want to connect with myself. If there is a pretty girl or something, well, I try to be the more me that I can, And then if life wants me to connect with this person or to make these friends, then I'm just gonna welcome it to my life. But I don't wanna run and try to get the more people I can get attention from, I just wanna be myself and have people happy around me, not trying to accomplish them instead of myself,
Hmm. This idea to attract people to be nice and cute and all that, that's kind of going away. So, do you have anything else to add? Any suggestions about how about your hobbies? What kind of things do you do other than studying and marketing and all that? Are there any other things? Yes, you said you play tennis. Do you still play tennis? Are there other things
Yeah.
you like to do?
Yeah. Well, I like to. Well, I like to play tennis. I like to just work out, do calisthenics, and going to run and painting. I like painting sometimes, but I my favorite hobby, I don't know if it counts, but it's with this new philosophy of being open to the world, doing everything with this philosophy. It's my new hobby, you know. If I'm going to play tennis, I analyze what's going on in tennis. If I am angry, I just say, okay, I'm angry, but I'm playing tennis. I'm trying to connect with the sport. And if I am going to run, I try to listen to the birds in the street, and I try to feel everything I can feel, you know, because if you let the world get inside of you through your eyes, your nose, your ears, your skin, if you allow yourself to feel everything, well, that makes me happy. That makes me connect with everything. Like, the world has something to tell us, and that's my hobby. That's what I do when I have free time, just trying to connect with every situation.
Wow, I like that. The world has something to tell us, so we connect deeply within, and then we connect with the world and then go back.
Yeah.
In fact, it's funny because it's like doing things and then being yourself. Doing things and being yourself. We came up with a song for that. Doobie 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 doo. Because otherwise we are always like out there, away, whoa. And then we lose touch with who this person is.
But what's really interesting is that at some point, the more you practice doing that, you start being the situation instead of situation and then myself. You are both the
Hmm.
same at the same time. We're just part of the moment. Uh,
So there's no
uh,
separation. Wow.
yeah,
The more we focus on what's happening here and what's happening out there, that separation is gone and emerge into you become a part of the drama. Or you kind of see
yeah,
yourself as an actor there. Very
yeah.
interesting. Very interesting. That sounds almost psychedelic. You know?
No, the death of ego. It's really interesting.
Oh
You, s-
yeah, yeah. The separation of me from the environment is kind of fades away. Very interesting.
you become the place you are at, or the energy that's going on there, you know. I
Do you
like.
have any suggestions for people who might be trying to do that? Because, young people go through a lot of change and a lot of anxiety and the search for identity, as we call it, a search for who am I and what is my purpose in life and why am I here? That really haunts people. So, do you have any references? Do you have any books that you read or, YouTube videos? Anything you would recommend that can help people to find meaning?
Well, I do not like. Well, of course, I read books, but I prefer just like analyzing everything in my head and then getting into conclusions that make me happy. Okay, but the suggestion I would say is, we cannot connect with the world if we are trying to do it from the rationalist point of view, because that involves the thoughts, the brain, well, the mind, you know. And there is always our mind is always telling us bad things. Well, not always, but it's a lot of the times it's telling us bad things. And in order to stop being stressed, you have to disconnect from these thoughts. Just let them be there, but do not believe that they are what you are, you know, because your thoughts and yourself, it's something really different. Your thoughts are part of you. They help you get smarter, but sometimes they can affect us. So if you just separate from your thoughts, and this will allow you to connect. For example, when I'm playing tennis and I'm losing a game, I start thinking like, oh, I am so bad at tennis. I don't like playing tennis anymore. But that's not me. Now that I can separate myself from those thoughts, I can see like, okay, my brain is angry at me, but I'm just gonna keep playing, and then I'm gonna ignore that. I'm gonna connect with the game, and then you can feel the game. You know, you can feel the moment. So if you stop believing that this little voice in your head is what defines yourself, then you will be able to connect with your real self. And I think that's something beautiful. the moment you realize that that you will always have this mind with fears that will stop you from doing things, the moment you realize that you can separate yourself from that, then you can do a lot of things. And that's part of how I became the president. Before I used to be like, wow, that's something I'm never gonna be able to do. How is Rodrigo going to do that? But then you think, okay, that's a bad thought. I'm gonna stop it, and I'm just gonna continue working on trying to be the president until you ignore your mind enough, and then you become what you wanted to.
Oh, really interesting. So the more we ignore all the distracting thoughts and the negative judgments and all that, the more we get closer to the real me. In other words, the distractions or the negativity or the push and pull distract you from being truly yourself. That's what you're saying.
Mhm.
Very interesting. Well, to everybody who's watching us, listening to us, if you have more questions for Rodrigo, we will find a way that you can connect with him directly. We'll provide at least some social media links if he's okay with that. And same
Yeah.
with me. If you have any questions for me directly, you can talk to me. I'll provide my social media links. And if there's a need for more dialogue, we will reconnect again. And it's always nice to reconnect and share. How do you say it in Espanol? See you again. Hasta la vista. Or there's something else even better than that.
Hasta pronto.
Hasta pronto. See you soon. Hasta pronto. And if anybody wants to have just a discussion about their life, what does a life mean to you, and also specifically how life has changed during the pandemic, and any aspirations you had before and now you have different aspirations, I would love to hear. And thanks again, Rodrigo. What a wonderful way of sharing. Before, we used to always do it one-on-one. Now we are still doing it one-on-one, but we're now approaching the world a little bit and seeing how if that can be useful to them also, and just the sharing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have a
Yeah. Thank
great
you for
day.
having me.
Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon again.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Muchas gracias, amigos.
Muchas gracias.